Oh, wow. What a day. What a day. Alrighty, while we're waiting on people to join, I'm going to remind you of all the things I always remind you of to make sure you go to my website, coopedup.com. I have started putting some new content up. Thought you might like it. Got a rundown of all of the top items that we got for Christmas in there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at I'm Cooped Up. And most importantly, wherever you're watching this, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or listening to it on a podcast, because this is available now on all major podcast platforms, be sure to click the bell or whatever the method of notification is so that you never miss anything, okay? So do that. Hey, Mama, good to see ya. Good to see ya. So guess what, y'all? I lost track of how many episodes we have made, and I counted them today. This is the 173rd episode. So we celebrated 50 back in whenever the hell that was. And I thought, this has got maybe 20, 25 more episodes on it. Then we hit 100, because this all started after COVID, but after the shut-in. I think I started this in April. Like we were already a couple weeks into it, just as kind of a random thing, and then turned it into this. So as of this moment, you are watching me for the 173rd time. I have talked to you 173 times. I cannot believe that. And by the way, the 150th episode, when we should have had a grand celebration, was the day I hit the woman in the Jeep in Hilton Head and came to y'all and talked to y'all from Hilton Head, South Carolina, when we were on our big RV trip the week before Thanksgiving. That was 150, so I cannot believe it. 173, man. That means we are literally like 5 weeks out from 200 episodes. That is crazy. It's that time of day when we abandon our children for 30 minutes. We can't hear their screaming. Should I talk louder? That's what Aaron is saying. Yay. Thank you, Sandy. 173. Woohoo. So I am kind of faking perky today, by the way. Actually, I am actually. Once I get on here and get going, I get perky back. But I have not been perky today at all. Allergies are kicking my ass today. Today's one of those days where is it COVID or is it allergies? And I was fine and left the house. I needed to deliver something to a friend, dropped it off with him and came home. I was oozing, literally, not even tears. It was like straight up ooze out of my eyes from all this mountain cedar that is blowing in with this. This is shit old people talk about, by the way. There's a front coming. My allergies are acting up. Oh, my shoulder. It must be rain. That kind of thing. So that's me today. Sat down. My hair's a wreck in the back because I sat down earlier and kind of fell asleep because it makes me sleepy too. I am like oozing though. Matt's saying his too. It's horrible. I mean, supposedly they're at like a record high right now, and it's anytime these major cold fronts blow through, it is something that yeah. And Monica's asking, have you been pissy poopy pants or poopy pissy pants today? Funny story, y'all. So I've not been either. I've just been kind of mellow. And I forgot to take my CBD this morning, but a bunch of years ago, Todd and I, what was it? We were in a fight or something on the phone. Like I called him and I was like, it's like, my God, you're being a pissy poopy pants. And then he hung up on me or something. And I called him back and I said, actually, I was wrong. You're a poopy pissy pants, and hung up on him. This is the level of maturity. So my sister knew about that. Oh, yeah. I'm even sitting down for today's show, by the way, because my back is hurting from just like laying in the chair and just kind of, I'm literally like oozing right now out of my eyes. It's gross. And we were dying too. We were afraid we were allergic to the new dog. By the way, Aaron, you're in the western half of DFW. You may actually get some of that wet snow that they're talking about. I think they said the eastern half of the DFW area shouldn't get their hopes up. So we're not. Plus wet snow, that just sounds gross. I want light, dry, fluffy snow that lasts for maybe a day or two and then just completely goes away as if it were never here. I don't like we were in Boston once and it snowed like a blizzard. and we were there for like a week. It was so disgusting. Snow is wonderful in the sky. It is wonderful when it is freshly fallen on the ground. There is nothing attractive about snow the minute it is touched by civilization. It is gray, muddy, you're wet. I mean, my pant legs are wet to my knees every day. Crazy. So it is just allergies, though. I did read an article today that if you have a fever, allergies never cause fevers, although I dispute that, but supposedly this doctor said so, the medical experts. I think I do sometimes run a slight fever sometimes when I have really bad allergies. It could be because I'm getting an infection, though. That is true. Dad and I finished his walk with a few drops falling. Yeah, it's starting to. I look out the window here, and the air looks wet, like it's kind of that like misty, like I just cleaned the windshield kind of thing, or sprayed the windshield. It's not raining, but it's not. And I see people playing tennis. So there's a tennis court across the street from our house. I see them playing, but they look like they're getting wet a little bit. So it's coming, and it's supposed to rain here, I think, until like Friday. I don't know. So again, things old people talk about the weather. Oh, the weather, the weather, the weather. Crystal wanted to know whatever happened to that accident. Long story short, the guy started sending me some really. They came over. I had been drinking. They came over. They said, "Here's the estimate." I was like, my insurance guy said, "Just pay them off. Do not file it, because even if you're not at fault, insurance nowadays counts that against you, and it'll cost you more." So we split it. I paid him $300 and tried to Venmo it to him. He didn't have Venmo set up right, and then my Venmo got locked up. I didn't have my debit card on me. And then he was like, "You're a scammer, you're blah, 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 blah." So I went into Zelle and just sent it to him, and he goes, "Got it." And I was like, "Have a nice life." That literally is the last interaction I had with them. It's like, whatever. And Michelle, you did not get the notice again, and you're having a hard time finding me. Well, I mean, the other ones and twos of fans found me, so it can't be that hard. I love giving you a hard time. Let's see. And Ryan is saying pollen.com helped prove my allergies were not from the new dog. Great website. I have to check it out. And Monica says you also talk about arthritis ointment. She and I have already had a conversation. So I have tendonitis in my shoulder right here. I get it. I'm pretty sure I get it from holding my phone constantly and just playing on my phone if I don't do it right. And I have to put a pillow under my arm if I'm playing on my iPad or something, if I'm sitting on the couch or laying in bed doing it or something. But I have this product from Amazon. Another pro tip here, y'all. It's got the worst name ever. It's called Penetrex. 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 And it is literally a miracle cream. It has like 4 bazillion positive reviews. Its main ingredient is arnica, which is a flower that when I lived in Germany was in everything. So it's an anti-inflammatory. Put it on. It is literally the only thing that helps my like tendonitis in the shoulder. And I started putting it on everything. It's kind of like Windex on my big fat Greek wedding. I'm like, oh, my finger hurts. Penetrex, everywhere. Penetrex. It's like $28 for a big tub of it. Great stuff though. Smells like school paste. Like peppermint school paste. That's what it smells like. But I cannot live without it anymore. Discovered it a couple of years ago. And Crystal says, I feel like they were trying to scam you. That's bad karma. They got some bad juju. Fuck them, right? Exactly. He said something like, I see that you have a prominent social media following, and I would hate for that to be soiled. And I was like, girl, I soil that myself every day at 4:30. So don't you even threaten me on that. And you use Penetrex also. It is the truth. Yes. I love that stuff. So, random question. Well, maybe not so random. The week between Christmas and New Year's is always a week that I try to do something big, like whatever. And again, this is one of those things. Don't should yourself to death. You don't have to do this. I shouldn't be shooting myself to death on this. But how many of you like set out the week between Christmas and New Year's? Because I'm getting like 2 emails a day. My office is closed. All of this. How many of y'all set out to do some sort of big project, like clean out a closet or organize the kitchen? Or mine always somehow involve organization, right? And like 3 years ago, Marie Kondo was all the rage. I still am hardcore fangirl on Marie Kondo though. Marie Kondo was all the rage. Cleaned out my closet, got rid of, I mean, like hundreds of pounds of shit, I'm sure, and loved it and have mostly stuck with it. The way I fold stuff now, Todd doesn't abide by it quite as much as I do. He hangs on. I get rid of things a lot more easily than he does anyway. I don't know if it's from moving as much as a kid as we did or what. I don't have a lot of sentimentality about things. I mean, aside from a couple of Mickey Mouses over here. But I don't hang on to things that much. So I'm curious how many of y'all have set out to do that, organizing this week. And Sandy saying, oh yeah, that year, all my socks and toilet towels were folded with joy. Yes, I actually find it very therapeutic, the deliberately folding stuff, not trying to rush it, just folding it. And you know what? That may be a luxury of my lifestyle. That may be a great privilege that I have enough time to gently fold a towel, slowly thank the towel, and put it to the side. I don't go that far. But so there's a new thing, though, that is the home edit, which isn't that new. It's like a year old now. I won't watch that one, though. Everyone is like, you got to watch the home edit. It's like Marie Kondo, but on steroids. And so I read about it a little bit, and their premise is you can keep everything. We just tell you how to file it away. I'm like, well, I don't want to keep everything. I want to get rid of the stuff that is in my life. I love an uncluttered life. By the way, look behind me though. Talk about uncluttered. That's everything that was on my larger desk before I got the standing desk. Need to Marie Kondo some shit back there. But just I have pared down my wardrobe significantly to kind of a capsule wardrobe is what they call it, where you have a lot of just really basic pieces. You will almost never see me in anything ultra trendy. I use the bandanas to add color and stuff. But I wear a lot of I own this long sleeve t-shirt in like 5 different colors. I have 3 denim shirts I wear. I have a couple white shirts, pink shirts, blue shirts, not a lot of stripes, not a lot of plaids, anything like that. And I just keep it real simple. But this home edit thing is all about organizing. And I love a rainbow, and they supposedly use rainbow colors to organize everything. So I'm a little curious about it on that front. But they're like, you don't have to get rid of anything. And you know what? Marie Kondo doesn't say you have to get rid of anything. She's just saying don't hang on to it just because you think you need to. The kitchen appliances that are tools where you're like, well, I used this once 5 years ago, and I might make that guacamole again. But you know what? You probably could use a fork also instead of keeping up with that thing, right? And so there's a lot of that. Like the kitchen was life changer. Emptying the drawers, getting rid of duplicates. I have 1 set of measuring spoons. I have 2 sets of measuring cups because there's one that's really pretty that I like that I have an attachment to. Because you are allowed to have attachments to things. It brings me joy. That's what Marie Kondo says. And then another that's more functional that can go in the washing machine. The other ones can't go in the washing machine. They're just for looks. But it's got rid of a lot of duplicates and things that have a single use. I still have a few things that have a single use, like the air fryer, which I think that has many uses actually. Reheating, cooking, reheating. The Instant Pot has a lot of uses, but other than that, like I got rid of a lot of single-use appliances too. I got rid of we used to have this little thing that its whole purpose was to hard-boil eggs. Well, I now do that in the Instant Pot using the 5-5-5 method. Put it in high pressure for 5 minutes, let it naturally release for 5 minutes, and then put it in an ice bath for 5 minutes. Best way to hard-boil eggs ever. They practically just they squirt out of the shells. It's the best way to do it. They don't get that weird green ring around them. Occasionally one of them says, you know what, fuck you, and explodes. But other than that, it's always a good stuff. So, and Michelle's saying, I really want to get rid of a bunch of my clothing. Then I won't have to do as much laundry. I have 7 pairs of pajama bottoms. That's stupid. So I will admit, I have way more pajama bottoms than I should. And there is a video. I'll post a video of when I did the tour of my closet after I Marie Kondoed. That would have been 2 years ago, I guess around now, maybe 3 years ago. And I got rid of, I mean, I had like 3 sports visors. And I'm like, who the fuck do I think I am even having 1 sports visor? Like, why? Why? I don't do shit. I actually have more sports shorts now since the pandemic because I started walking. Well, I haven't done that recently because between the cold and my allergies, I'm like getting fat again. Gained a pound last week, y'all. And so, but anyway, so I'm curious about if y'all tried to tackle that, and if you need any help from a distance, social distance, virtually, I'm happy to help. I really enjoyed Marie Kondo State, and the thing about thanking your staff, I thought it was so cheesy at first. I was like, nah, this is, but it actually made it easier and better to say, you know what, this shirt doesn't fit me anymore. It served me in my whore days. Thank you for all the good times. I'm sending you on to let somebody else be a whore in you. There is one shirt I did not get rid of. It is a white t-shirt that I cut the sleeves off of. It says New York on the front, and I bedazzled the words New York. You're like, I got to see it, right? I know, I don't have it on me. I'll show it to you later. I did save that because that is a memory, and it is an extra small, y'all, because I wore it a little cropped because I was that gay. I still am that gay. I'm just not that skinny gay. I'm a bigger gay now. But yeah. And then the folding, I fold all my pants, I fold my socks, I fold my underwear, everything standing upright. Life changer, because you can see all the shit you own and you can pick from it. Otherwise, I was wearing the same like 3 pairs of underwear because it was just whatever was on top. Love it. And Sandy plans to possibly tackle your recipe collection pile. Don't shit yourself to death. One of my big projects this time, though, I actually didn't tell you what it was. One of my big projects for this round was actually wanted to go through my iPad and all my screenshots and my photos and all of that. Because I have, let me look how many, where's my photos at? Also need to go just through apps. Like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screens of just apps also, and lots of folders too. So lots of stuff. But then where's the photos? See, I always have to just search for stuff. In my photo, in all of this, I have, does it have totals? It's supposed to have totals. I have 22,497 photos. I have 2,213 videos, and I do not even know how many, let's see how many, if I can see screenshots. I think that there is a screenshots. I have, it doesn't even say, but I have just screenshots. Look at that. But just because I screenshot everything. So I need to go through that, and I want to purge a lot of that. And I have Elvis hair. I do have Elvis hair today. I did not wash it this morning. I should have, because it might have helped my allergies. I was actually wearing a hat earlier when I was running my errand. Had a New York Yankees hat on, pulled it off, ran some stuff through my hair. Actually, the stuff that I use has Elvis on the top of it. So thank you very much. I love Elvis so much. Will you go back to having someone clean the house? So that's a good question. Todd will answer that much more quickly than I will. So I think that we used to have a housekeeper 5 days a week. I think that is overkill. I think that they were doing a lot of things that we were paying for that not necessarily needed to be done. I don't mind doing the laundry. We own enough laundry, and we have 2 washers and dryers, so it goes pretty quickly. Again, first world issues or first world problems there. Oh, my hair is sticking up. But we'll probably go back to having someone maybe every week, every other week. It actually costs more to have them less often. Not more overall, but just like per visit. But we don't need them every time. I don't need them fiddling with the towels every single day. Like, we can take care of that. So I think that we have learned a lesson in the pandemic that we do not need a housekeeper as often as Todd's going to be watching this in a little bit, and he's going to be like, fuck you. Yes, we do. We need someone to clean. Let me rephrase all of that. We need someone to clean, keyword clean, the house. We don't need someone who keeps it organized and tidy. We are getting much better at that, and also accepting that maybe perfectly tidy isn't something that we need to be paying for anyway. But cleaning toilets, got the kids cleaning the toilets on the weekends now, so maybe not even that. I'm doing the laundry, folding the laundry. It gives me some meditative time, if you will. Vacuuming and dusting are two things that no one likes to do. So maybe that. Scrubbing sinks is something, like my sink is kind of rank right now, just with all the products that kind of build up and stuff. And Matt is saying, I thought I was the only one who took that many screenshots. I do it constantly. And Sandy also wants to go through her digital photos. So now what we want to see is a photo of, show us a photo of you in the crop top. Okay, so there's a photo on Instagram. There's a thing, and it's kind of carried over to Facebook, where you post and people can put in, ask a question. Yeah, show us a photo of and ask a question. And so if you go to my cooped up, you can ask me. I'm cooped up. So you have to go to Instagram. I'm not going to do it here on Facebook. You have to go to Instagram. I'm cooped up. And you can, in my stories, you can ask me to show you a photo of something, and I will. Fortunately for us, unfortunately for y'all, those crop top days, that was like 1999, like early on. Todd and I were just starting to date at the time. So there weren't cameras everywhere. Everyone knew exactly where a camera was in the room at all times, and they weren't there very often. You know, I probably take like 10 photos a day now. I used to take maybe 10 photos a year unless I was on vacation. Isn't that crazy how we've changed that? Granted, I didn't have kids then, and I'm not even taking pictures of the kids that much, as evidenced by my social feeds. Michelle Condre hates unloading the dishwasher. Well, that's why I have children. My kids, one of them has a good week. My kids actually prefer unloading the dishwasher over loading it. And so they alternate their work responsibilities in the house. We don't call them chores, we call them responsibilities. Because chores makes it sound like a punishment, when in fact it is just part of living in our house. You have a responsibility. And so one of them has a good week and one of them has a bad week. These are the terms that they came up with. The good week is you unload the dishwasher, you take out the bagged trash, and you sit in the front seat of the car. And what was the other thing? You restock toilet paper. And the bad week is loading the dishwasher, taking out the recycling can. For some reason, neither of them like doing that. I think because it's just a bunch of loose stuff. You sit in the back seat, and you have to you have to empty the trash cans in all of the bathrooms. And then there's something that they have to do. One of them has to clean the toilets. We just have those little, and it's only like twice a month, those little disposable things that foam up, the little heads, and they just snap off into the trash can. They do that, and I think that they alternate that. I can't remember the specifics on that. But having kids, especially tweens now, they got responsibilities. They got to do shit. So anyway, they were somehow in a very brief period and stopped. From 2000, I have photos from dorm dances with guys in that. See, my first photos are when I got the iPhone. Actually, you want to see the first photo that I have on my iPhone? It is, I think it's of one of our chihuahuas back in the day. Let us see here. How do I do that? Library, time frame, select. Years. Here we go. We'll go back years. So my first photo is, well, that's not right. 2008 is when I first started having photos on my iPhone. Where is that? Why is this not working? Technology is like the devil to me sometimes. 2008. Okay. How many times do I want to touch this? Okay, so naturally it's a photo of me. Photo of Todd on our brand new lawn tractor that he still uses weekly. We had literally just moved. We had just moved into the house. So that's January 25th, 2009. We bought this house Halloween 2008. Then Basha, our Chihuahua, little Basha sitting on Todd's shoulder there. See how tiny she was. And then Thor, our other Chihuahua. Those were our original babies. And then the very first photo of Claire ever. So literally, we go from having five photos on my phone to just thousands, tens of thousands, 20,000, something like that. Crazy. I was going to ask y'all earlier, and I forgot I skipped over this. When you're purging stuff, my kids have gotten to the point where we're purging toys, and they're like, yeah, I don't play with that. I don't play with that. And I'm like, and I'm not emotionally attached to these things, but I'm like, bitch, that cost $100. You better play with that still. I just bought that for you. You better play. All they want is, they don't want toys. They just want to have things like Roblox and iPads and all that kind of stuff. I think we're hitting that time period, but I'm like, no, I don't want to get rid of that. Not because I want to keep it, not because I think it's great. It's because it cost me $100. As a teenager, I had to wash all the family cars once a week. We haven't gotten to that point yet. I actually will pay them. When I was young, we had to mow. I had to mow the lawn with a push mower, and our original push mower wasn't even self-propelled. We finally got one that was self-propelled, but we had to mow, and we lived on a double lot. Like, our house was on one, and there was an empty lot next to us that we rented this house in Hallettsville, Texas, and I had to mow that whole lot too. And then we moved to the country, and we lived on like half an acre, flat half an acre. Had to mow that with the push mower too. So that was part of our chores. And my sister's saying Sterling doesn't play with toys either. Claire does still. Sterling is my 12-year-old nephew. Claire still plays with some toys. Mason, he likes games and stuff, but he doesn't play with toys, really. And Michelle's saying, but I don't want kids. I don't know how to answer that. I actually don't mind unloading the dishwasher. For me, I don't like loading it, but I guess if you have the good habit of loading it as you use dishes. Also, if you probably live alone or have just someone else with you, you're more aware of all the dishes that are being used too. That's the other thing. When you have kids, they'll get out a glass to take one sip from it, and then when they want another sip of something, they get a new glass. So that's part of why the responsibility, it's like, be aware of what you're doing. So, and Matt is saying it was 7 vehicles. Yeah, well, we got 5, so we're not too far behind. I have had the weirdest dreams the last couple of nights, y'all. So I had a dream the other night, and this one actually was kind of like a weird smart dream to me. I had a dream that I was in the backyard at my office. My office is an old historic house in the Bishop Arts District. I was in the backyard of my office, and my friend Cindy was there with me. And Cindy and her husband Ryan are in the oil and gas industry. And Cindy was telling me all about how they've left oil and gas for good. They're not doing that anymore. And they have gotten into mining for star residue. That's the phrase, mining for star residue. And I was like, well, that's fascinating. Like, what's that mean? Thinking it was like where asteroids had hit the Earth and like the rare minerals and metals and all that kind of stuff, like something really cool. She said, no, it's not that at all. We have become talent agents for washed up celebrities and one-hit wonders, mining for star residue. She's like, all these stars still have a little bit left in them, so we're mining their star residue. Isn't that the weirdest phrase? Like, that was in my dream, and I woke up that morning thinking, mining for star residue. Like, how weird. I have the weirdest, since I've started taking CBD at night, like my dreams, they're not fucked up. They're just super vivid and super detailed and very like lucid and realistic, sometimes to a weird thing. Last night, instead of taking my curcumin CBD one, and my sister's gonna make fun of me for talking about CBD. I took one. I gave Todd some that have melatonin in them to help him sleep, and I wasn't having sleeping problems last night, but I just wanted to see what it was like. I'd never taken melatonin ever, so I took the melatonin one. I slept like a dead person. I fell asleep at 8:30. slept like a dead person until like 3:30, and then I woke up, and then I was kind of awake, and then I kind of tossed and turned after that until I finally got woke up at like 7, and then I laid in bed until like 9. I don't take screens, so I don't when I'm tossing and turning, I don't get my phone or anything out to look at it. But last night I had a dream that Monica, my sister, and I were in we're touring a haunted mansion in Montauk, New York. And I know why Montauk came up because I was watching uh, Brent and Jeremiah, uh, or Jeremiah Brent rather. Nate Berkus and Jeremiah Brent. I was watching them on Instagram yesterday, and they're now living in Montauk at their house in Montauk. So I know why that came up. But we were touring this haunted mansion, and the tour guide was this great reporter friend of mine, Christine Perez, who was giving us the tour of the haunted mansion. I don't know why, but it was like so vivid. It was so there. So anyway, weird dreams equals CBD. Are you having that too? Have you been having the weird dreams too? Yeah. My sister's saying forks. I feel like we take a bite with a new fork. You're so fancy. It's like, I'm never using that fork. Yes. And pink elephants. It's not trippy. Funny enough, none of these dreams are trippy. They are not like psychedelic. They are like super realistic. Like when we went to Africa, I had to take anti-malarial medicine. It was the same thing. These dreams, it is like hard to tell between them being real and not real. Like they're so lucid, so like present. Like it's really weird. Um, and last time I took melatonin all night long, it made me feel my feet flap like a damn dog. You're like, that's hilarious. Who's down with CBD? Hey, you know me, Jody. You know me. So that's also something I never thought I would try in 2020. I need to do a blog post or something of lessons learned, things I didn't think I was going to do in 2020. Riding through 19 states carrying my own feces was also one of the things I never thought I would do. One of the biggest lessons, though, and actually I literally have this on the list right there. One of the biggest lessons that I have learned the hard way in 2020: do not buy biodegradable poop bags. So we were out of poop bags for the dogs, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to be earth friendly and conscious once. I'm not super, I don't actively try to destroy the earth, but I also don't actively try to not destroy the earth. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy the biodegradable poop bags, the thinner ones, the ones that just kind of go away on their own, right? That is a big ass mistake, because you know what happens? They biodegrade as you're using them. You're literally picking up and my dogs don't even have big poop, but I can't imagine if you had a fucking Labrador or Great Dane or Golden Retriever or something, picking it up, carrying it to the thing. It feels like the bag is actively breaking down as you are using. Like, I try to make sure the dogs poop near one of the trash cans. Y'all tried that? But I'm like, nope. Big mistake of 2020, buying biodegradable poop bags. And on that note, let me look through the comments. We'll end the show. Someone said something yesterday. Oh, Aaron was talking about that he got herbs and a fiddly fig, and I can't remember what the other thing was, for Christmas. And that's a fucking grown up Christmas list right there. And Michelle's gagging. Gah. Yes, exactly. It's gross. I don't like them. they're so biodegradable. I may just throw them away in the recycling can, or even just in the regular trash can. I can probably leave them out in the rain and just have the cardboard box left tomorrow morning. They're probably water soluble for all I know. Let's see. Any other comments? I hate when I look through later and I see that I've missed things that y'all have said. So, and I'm missing Eric today. Eric just told me he was going to watch earlier, and then he's not on. Miss you, Eric. So my sister's saying, use 2 of the bags. That's true. I gotta pull it and figure out where the seam is and all that. That's also, I hate trying to figure out where the seam is. I have a pooper scooper service every 2 weeks. See, I won't let our dogs poop in the backyard for that exact reason, because I do not want landmines back there. And they always poop on the pool deck, and that's gross too because we have fake grass out there and they think it's real grass and they won't go on the actual wet grass. So I take them out on the walking trail across the street and the golf course. So, alrighty. Well, I wanted to show you a photo real quick before I go. So this photo popped up in my photo stream, my memory stream today. Is that not the, hey Eric, is that not the funnest, coolest photo? So this was taken today, like 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, at Fossil Rim Nature Park, which is one of those drive-through safaris. I don't know if y'all have done those. Aaron, Kyle, and Ryan, I don't know if you've done them. It's pretty close to you. It is probably about 90 minutes from our house. And so I drove the kids down there, and that little girl is Claire's friend Clark. I drove down there, and you go through it. First of all, they don't tell you it takes 3 hours to drive through this. So make sure you have a full tank of gas before you go in, because it is very slow, and it takes like 3 hours to go through it. But one of the things that was so fun, and you can see it in this photo, is that there's a giraffe that you can feed, and the giraffe will stick its head. I mean, this is barely in the car. I have one where his head is like fully down, like next to me. But the joy in this photo. This photo is one of my favorites of all time. I need to make sure I throw it on my photo frames and set the joy in this photo. Also, the good dental work. In this photo is just so magnificent. I can't remember the giraffe's name, but he has a specific name. He's famous for doing this. But so fun. And just, yeah, Monica, just down the street from Logan. We should all meet up down there after we get the vaccines. It's just such a great photo. And I don't even remember, I think I accidentally took this photo. Like this photo, my phone, I think I put it down, or I had it on like the dashboard, and it hit. It's just like the perfect moment, because I would have never taken a photo of myself from that angle. First of all, that's not normally a good angle for me. Turned out fine here, but just such a fun, joyful photo. So, hey, Melissa, you should recreate this. Melissa was the inspiration to me to talk about throwing away toys, and that shit cost $100. I was commenting on her posts about that earlier. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. Aaron and Ryan, you can get back to your kids now. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watch this. This is my daily therapy. Well, y'all in this. So I appreciate you. I'll take that off the screen real quick. Don't should yourself to death. I know this is the week that everyone tries to tackle everything. I will probably sort out maybe 20 photos. Just hang out, chill out, be cool. Not too cold, because it's going to be cold here if you're in Dallas. Texas, I think. Stay inside if you have allergies. Oh my God, my eyes just started oozing again. Someone must have opened a door. And with that, I'm going to say bye. And Carrie will be here tomorrow. Carrie wants to talk about the stuff that she got for Christmas. And so we will have to see what she got for Christmas tomorrow, and what she's bought since. I started buying a couple of things that I didn't get that I wanted. Kind of lame stuff. Griddle, stuff like that. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Love y'all. See you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up.